Okay, so tier 5. At this stage, you are considered a security professional with lots of expertise in various fields. You might be a pen tester, bug bounty hunter, or security researcher with lots of success in your career. Keeping that in mind, we have discussed earlier that there is always room for improvement even in this stage. With lots of different skill sets, you can improve your knowledge and grow even more. In this stage and with the skills you have, you can find novel techniques that are undiscovered yet until then. So, how can we possibly find novel techniques and present them later on with the community? Understanding software architecture patterns. I'm sorry. Basically, we need to understand different architectural patterns, modern web applications structures, single page applications structure, different authentication and authorization, implementations, infrastructure, implementations, and various programming frameworks. Based on the topics discussed, you should now be able to find yourself a suitable resource to learn from. We have also suggested two books as an example. Your methodology should be to get as deep as possible on each implementation. Imagine you want to learn about various authentication implementations and you want to learn the OAuth protocol. You should find a proper resource for it and down the rabbit hole you go. Getting started with OAuth 2.0 is one of the suggested books in this field, as it discusses the server-side and client-side web application flow, client credentials flow, OpenID flow, and various other tools and libraries. To understand how single-page applications work, you can read the SPA design and architecture, as it discusses SPA's basics, MV frameworks, modular JavaScript, etc. Okay, so there are several other implementations and archi- uh, archi- architectures, sorry again, to learn. Now, with this mindset, you should be able to find the needed resource depending on your need. Okay, next step, deep into web. Besides software architecture, we need to have a deeper understanding of HTTP protocol. The new trend is into HTTP 2, with lots of new techniques recently introduced, one of which was HTTP2. The SQL is always worse by one, and only James Kettle. He introduced several novel exploitation techniques of HTTP desync vulnerabilities while dealing with HTTP2. This was one of the few examples of trends and new techniques discovered on protocols. Thus, we should have a proper understanding of different web protocols to be able to come up with novel ties. To learn HTTP2, we would suggest the Learning HTTP2 book and later going down through the new security researches on this topic to better understand the possible discovered attacks until now. Over the past few years, the infrastructure design has also been focused on by security researchers. One of the interesting concepts is reverse proxies and load balancing. One of the top security researchers in this field is Alexei Turin. Yes. He maintains an extensive repository of various researches on proxies with the new trends of HTTP2. He also presented his research in which he explains different host and path measure, misrouting, misrouting exploitation techniques. Okay, next step, programming language. The programming language in this phase different from the one we had on Tier 1. In that section, we described how important automation is. However, here the usage is different as they are used mostly for building applications ourselves to achieve a couple of purposes. Building web applications, understanding the architecture, understanding different protective functions and possible bypasses, code review knowledge for various white box projects. By doing the mentioned bullets, you will have a proper understanding of the application you are dealing with, meaning that you will choose your test cases and play payloads based on the technology and the programming language of that website. No more spray and pray. One of the very productive learning methods is to build the various vulnerable applications and then break into them. Not only you are hacking into an application, but also you understand the application architecture and vulnerable code. Later on, when you observe an application with the same technology, you guess the possible backend code. There are various programming languages for this purpose, such as PHP, Go, Python, Node.js, and Java. Choose what fits you the best and later go through others as well. Slowly but surely, you will learn different technology stacks and you will be able to code various applications and understand the possible backend code in your black box security assessment. Okay, deep in next step, deep into frameworks. After learning the programming languages, we need to get into the various frameworks. How learning the frameworks can improve our security knowledge, you might ask. Each framework has its own security features that lead us toward the correct test cases we should conduct. Various protections are applied by default in these frameworks. For example, Laravel handles XSS by sanitizing the user input. Django provides CSRF protection. Rails provides clickjacking protection. ASP.NET handles SQL injection using parameterized queries. As observed, each framework has its own security feature. There are many other features in addition to the examples above. If we are familiar with the frameworks, we understand the assessments we should conduct based on the technology stacks of the target we are dealing with. Conclusion. Everybody has a hacker inside. It's just a matter of waking them up and get them to use. Choose it as a passion and go down using the roadmap. Slowly but surely, you will gain the knowledge to be a proficient security researcher. This roadmap is meant to be used for all levels of knowledge. Choose your goal and take the steps to achieve it. There are five red sections in the roadmap image that are the shortcuts you can go from to start hacking as soon as possible. However, keep that in mind that you will need to review the other sections later on. Take care. Happy hacking.